You were just on an episode of Finding Your Roots with Henry Lee.
All right, so let's try take number 2. So we're gonna try this again. This is another reason why I don't like to jump the gun on certain positions, on certain things, for the simple fact is I don't know what my ancestors, cousins, whoever, for me, we don't know what direction we actually came from until we start searching up said thing. But it's also not good to take a standpoint on something when you actually don't know the truth. You feel me? Well, I don't know, because it's like they have a truth that we don't have, which seems feelings to me, but we gonna listen to this and see how it turns out.
Yeah. And he gave me some surprising revelations about my family history. You know, I was really reluctant. I don't know how you felt when you did it, Whoopi, but I was really reluctant to do it because I just sensed that there could be something in my family history that would be appointing. Negative, yes. I thought I was going to have that kind of moment. And Skip had asked me to do it for a long time, and I finally decided to do it.
Yeah, I've seen that, right? Not willing to face the truth, even if it's about your family, but yet you want other people to believe that your thought process is one of the ones that they should follow. Not willing to face the truth. But we're going to talk about that later.
Because I thought it'd be helpful for my children and my children's children to know what their real history was, you know? But what I found out was that my mother's family, while they are Puerto Rican, they actually originate from Spain. And the reason that they moved to Puerto Rico is because the slave trade had been sort of canceled in Spain and then Curacao, and then they moved.
So it sounds like your ancestors were doing the same thing that you were doing. You found a belief system, it was all that you know, and you stuck with it. That sounds exactly the same shit that you're doing. Sounds exactly like what they did. They found a belief system that worked with them and didn't want shit to change. I mean, I could be reaching here, but this is the same shit you were saying. Same actions you're taking. You believe that this one person has some type of moral high ground or betterment of people than everybody else has. But let me stop talking and listen to this.
Moved all of their slaves to Puerto Rico. And so the family business, I had been told that they were printers and journalists, but they were in fact enslavers.
So they lied to you. Well, let's not say they lied, just say they didn't know the truth. Because that's what it is, like they didn't know the truth. Your great ancestors knew the truth. That's why they skewed it, because they knew they didn't change. And at the point where they had to change, which means the narrative of said people would have to change too. But let me get back to it. I'll be talking too much.
And my mother, so
Hush fell over the
it
audience.
was deeply disappointing. And it's deeply disappointing because my mother really identified as Puerto Rican. She was part of the civil rights movement. And
if she was born there and has a birth certificate from there, then that's where she's from. Like, people can say whatever they want. It all depends on where you're born. A lady can get pregnant in Africa and have her baby over here. That's where you're born. You're American. I don't know why these shit seem so. Well, it seems like y'all want it to be some type of diversity in the situation. That's what it seems like. Because it's not justified. Now your mother doesn't feel sympathy towards the people that she felt sympathy towards. Well, it wouldn't even be considered sympathy. It'd be kinship.
she was deeply ingrained in Black culture and identified herself as Black for race, but Hispanic for ethnicity. Okay. But her race is white. She's European.
Yeah.
I know. It's weird because when you look at her, my mother's blonde and she has light eyes, and my whole family looks like that. So
no, that matter of fact, I don't have shit to do with this conversation but to listen to it, because if you're telling me your mother's blue-eyed blonde, matter of fact, I'm gonna get back to it.
I think inside I sort of knew that this was my history, and that's probably why I didn't want to do it. And I spoke to my mom about it. She was deeply disappointed. She actually cried about it. And then she said, maybe that's why I have been so connected to Black culture, because it's an atonement in my spirit. And
So she basically trying to say, well, at least to me, because y'all be doing the same thing, but she basically trying to say that her past actions or whatever it is or her ancestors' actions she's trying to atone for. But if you live a righteous life and live a good life and not do things that other people's, why the fuck, that shit don't make no sense. Because if you live in fine and not doing nothing to hurt other people, you shouldn't have to atone for anything, because your actions are yours. But it seems like it might be a little guilt in there. I could be wrong, but if you guilty, you guilty.
I received that. I also found out that, and there were slaves on both sides of our family, mothers and fathers, but we are 7% indigenous Puerto Rican, Taino.
And the people in the crowd not making it no better. No, we're clapping because she's 7%. Change behavior and change your actions. You are just like your ancestors. You are not willing to change with the times. That's what they did by leaving other places to go to other places that these things were allowed, not even thinking that, hey, these things are going to stop eventually. Well, you're just going to move with the time. You are a big dummy, and you're just like your ancestors, and I'm going to leave it right here.